That's a neat fixer-upper. You should check it out. On the home stretch. Smirked. You have a good eye for that stuff. Looks like some solid wood scrap there. Wonder what you could make with that. Yes, some e-waste for you. The dark can make you miss the day fierce. Let's see. The Scanaptrut outpost. The Jagni tribe first nested here long ago. Says they've been waiting for you to help them liberate the outpost. They've scouted the outpost while they were waiting and suggests you have a look at what they found before entering. Says scouts spotted a moth nest close to the outpost. If you destroy that, the moths should infest the place, looking for a new home. That's the idea. If everything works out as planned, the moths should cause a buzzing tumult. Just get to it and destroy it. Cut that one down. The underworld is like a whole new frontier. Took care of it. Pow! Nice work. No more moth's nest. There go the moths toward the outpost. They're good and mad. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. Thinks you did a great job capturing the rival's third outpost, and believes the rival is weak enough to engage them at their fort. Says it will be a relief to finally have it over. Says it's better to be holed up somewhere safe than to wander around at night. Let's see. Says the gates will remain open for you as long as you support the tribe. We'll be around when you return. That's a gnote. Easy prey for Lupa-Lupin. For everyone else, they're a perfect mount and easily tamed if they are kept fed. We all share the same destiny, destruction or survival. The board mainly has posts from those that used to work at the chug yard back in the days gone. They don't make much sense these days. Not much more to say about the board, but Gizmo is holed up in the underyard here working on that Mekton of his. The Toxanol Corporation used to run chugger-chuggers out of here, big machines on rails with smokestacks that fouled the air. They can carry you anywhere you like, well, anywhere that they go to, and then you can leg it from there. You're on the right track. Keep your eyes open. Tribes always scavenging for scrap, and the yard has plenty to go around. But they should have stuck to looting instead of playing around with sprockets. Bomper Bonkers busy ram-banging the door. This is your chance. Ouch! Scrapalicious! Let's see. The Tree of Life still stands. Question is, for how long? Yes, you can do anything. The sky's the limit. Now, let's take this back to Earth. Wow, you really took that all the way down to the end, in flames. Gross. This place stinks. It's a wonder some of these up and downs still work. Guess they built machines better in the past. The spent nuclear fuel that Toxanol dumped in the surf had detrimental effects on the marine habitats, while the overflowing landfills contaminated the groundwater. Combined, this sent their world hurtling on an inevitable road to ruin. I need to brush up on my Wando, but I have a feeling he believes it was you that caused the bang at the yard. Oh, and he says he knows you. You used to call him Gizmo. He gave you the oil-greased hands when he taught you how to upcycle. Gizmo remembers you as a nice kidling, and he can still sense the warmth of your good heart. But Gizmo says how you experience a memory can be different. You know the story, but sometimes the truth it brings is personal. He hopes you remember that one time he taught you to upcycle, and hopes you've had some use for it over the years. Gizmo says he also has re-memories from the long gone, but unlike you, he doesn't think of the past, for it's gone. He understands history made Lupa-Lupin a big part of your past, your present, and soon, your future. You still believe there's some good in everyone. You still have hope for tomorrow. He says you should know that what's meant to be will always find a way, but history shouldn't consume you. Gizmo understands you still have strong feelings, but urges you to keep them under control. You've witnessed firsthand what it'll lead to. Take that light!
Really, you ought to use your head instead of your gut. See? The darkness lets you get away with anything.
Just remember, you can always find light in the dark.
Dark? When you already know you're right.
Would like to know if you ever doubt the choices you made on the path that brought you to this point. Would you have been happier going in a different direction? Supposes that's all any of us can do. Hard to believe the world is actually going to survive. Just seemed impossible till now. Grateful to you for coming back and doing your best to change things. You were the only chance they had. Wonders if you liked working with the Myriad. They always seemed so centered and so seeking. Figures everyone does. They seem unusually dedicated to finding them. But that's not important now. Gizmo says it's taken a long time to bring the past up to the present, and where you go from here is up to you. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the underyard as he has no protection against the vacuum in the dead zone. So you need to salvage scrap to upcycle the Mekton, starting with the old crate outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the Mekton strong enough to fight the Jumbo Puff. It's the part of the land that suffered most from the apocalypse. It's deprived of oxygen, making it next to impossible for anything but creatures that were most contorted by the contamination. Looks like the switches need to be turned to match so enough charge can flow through the conductors. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. This day is as good as it's going to get. There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives. You're grown wiser. You need a bit more skill. That's the leftover you're looking for. Too tight, and the rope tips. Whoa, smell that? Biohazard nearby. Good thing you're not claustrophobic. Just find your footing. He says that's enough to get the Mekton functional. You'll have an engine, a fuel soaker, a gun and a gathering net, but no armor, nor enough oxygen supply. Something he devised to salvage valuables from the ground. There are usually spots hidden beneath puddles of oily goo where you can use the net. He's been working on another project for the Mekton, a cannon, but it needs ammunition, and by that he means the scripts. He says if they're trained right, they'll turn into a distraction for the jumbo puff. The best way to find scripts is to go talk to Moog. He knows the ins and outs of every breathing thing left alive after the apocalypse. Unfortunately, this means you'll have to venture farther out into the dead zone than Moog's camp on the steep depot. Once you find Moog, he'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find scripts. Gizmo thinks he's a little peculiar, but very knowledgeable. He has the ins and outs of all monster and creature whereabouts. The grease monkey's Mekton is built sturdy, just like himself. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? Might want to hold your breath before you head any further. You're about to witness the breathtaking vistas of what's known as the Dead Zone. In the old world, roads like this really led somewhere. Now, most of them lead to disaster. That over there is Steepo-Deepo, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to. Paul, go on.
Inmo. Diaba.
Let's see.
Ishko Watsu Muntea Mastula.
This one's impressed to see you out here. He figured you'd be dead by now. Not many are as tough and clever as you must be.
Dana Untiza Vela.
Says he's a monster haunter. The best you'll ever see. Moog says that all your power doesn't do you a bit of good if you're not willing to pull the trigger when the time comes. Choosing what to kill and what to spare are the most important decisions you'll make. You might have a steady aim, but you need to be sure that you pick your targets with care. It's hard to make those life or death decisions for others, but someone's got to do it. Otherwise, they'll do it themselves, and you know they'll miss. When it comes to monsters, he mostly picks who dies. Says it's wild that the world seems to be coming back, but he supposes that means more monsters for him to shoot. Wonders why you work so hard to keep things alive. Bullets help thin the herd instead. Says you should give up on working with the stubborn myriad. He keeps trying to put out their lights and they keep putting up new ones. Says they keep the monsters away. He needs them closer, not farther. But enough of that, right? He says the wildlife, nature, has changed and turned against us. Instincts of survival took over when the world changed. He's not sure about their veggie diet anymore, and if it's changed, who knows what it's done with the chemical composition of their body output. Right now, though, he feels he's come to a point where he's got a pretty clear idea on the whereabouts of monsters, both tall and short. Thinks that it all hangs on the tree of life. When it started to fail, everything changed. Moog says you must learn to walk before you can run. It takes practice before you can call yourself a monster hunter. Fortunately for you, he can help. He understands you need to start off with something small before you go big. There's no better place to start than a squip cave. Hunting down a couple of these little critters for yourself should keep you on your toes. Thinks you have bigger issues than your so-called haunting skills if you're going to nitpick on his grammar. Moog says you should go hunt for squips in the cave he gave you directions to. Don't let the dark time take you. That's an odd thing, don't you think? Wait, it's the scrip hole-up. The place is just filled with critters. great progress. Once the volatilization from the nuclear waste evaporated, a volatile gas rose through the soil and infested structures, even Toxanol's own buildings. So, in a way, they caused their own death. Down here, you can feel protected and trapped at the same time. Oh, idea. Go knock the lid off that sludge truck. It'll fill the place up and you can get up to that entrance there. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Look what you got. A critter. Have to love another fresh start. It's cleanly cut. Imagine that. You could just go to a place like this to get a proper meal back in the old world. Right between the eyes. You can do this. Dead on. That'll teach you. Birds can't breathe to sing. Any sun is way better than none. He says that's enough scripts to sustain the Mekton's claw crane cannon with infinite ammunition. Well done. That's the special weapon he made to store the scripts in the Mekton. It will be strong enough to launch them at the Jumbo Puff. Gizmo's made vehicles before to confront the Jumbo Puff himself, but failed. But this time, it's different. The Mekton will be strong enough to do the job. It's time to put a stop to the World Eater now. Otherwise, he fears the damage it's caused to the tree already will be too much to handle. He asks you to not even think about taking on the Jumbo Puff on foot. You'll need the Mekton to do the job. Take his word for it. There's time to improve the Mekton before you confront the Puff. There are more wreck boxes out in the dead zone with gear you should be able to equip the Mekton with on your own. He got the idea to build the Mekton when he found a big crate containing the metal frame for something Toxanol had named an exoskeleton. Gizmo wants to help if he can. You need to help Gizmo defeat the Jumbo Puff before it destroys the West Route. You should pay the Ankati tribe a visit before it's too late. Says you'll meet again. Gizmo wants to help if he can. The tree remains intact, but you must all make a change to save it. Seems surprised you have to go. Gizmo wants to help if he hopes to see you again soon. Amazing. strange not having the sky above. Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning. Let's see. It's Peekaboo Park. Young ones love this sort of place. Flash the slash. This one seems to be in good spirits, despite being left here for dead. Has heard that you have a sense of compassion and trusts it's in your nature to help those in need. Asks you to do the right thing for the sake of your conscience. It's only through your inner conflict you're held accountable for your actions.
Me.
is grateful you chose that. You can't be good without doing good for others.
Come toward the light.
Slow down. Why would you rush in?
When you see what you want, why wait?
Well, what about being careful?
Pah! Poppycock! Full speed ahead!